When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. If something is important enough, you should try, even if the probable outcome is failure. I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. The first step is to establish that something is possible, then probability will occur. The path to the CEO's office should not be through the CFO's office, and it should not be through the marketing department. It needs to be through engineering and design. If you get up in the morning and think the future is going to be better, it is a bright day. Otherwise, it's not. You shouldn't do things differently just because they're different. They need to be better. I could either watch it happen or be a part of it. I take the position that I'm always to some degree wrong, and the aspiration is to be less wrong. The tough thing is figuring out what questions to ask, but once you do that, the rest is really easy. If you're not progressing, you're regressing, so you can't be stationary. You have to be super rigorous in making the best possible thing you can. Seek negative feedback, particularly from friends. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. Brand is just a perception, and perception will match reality over time. What makes innovative thinking happen? I think it's really a mindset. You have to decide. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive, and determination of the people behind it as the product they sell. Don't confuse schooling with education. I didn't go to Harvard, but the people that work for me did. I think that's the single best piece of advice. Constantly think about how you could be doing things better and questioning yourself. It's very important to like the people you work with, otherwise your job is going to be quite miserable. The only thing that makes sense is to strive for greater collective enlightenment. Constantly seek criticism. A well thought out critique of whatever you're doing is as valuable as gold. There have to be reasons that you get up in the morning and you want to live. Why do you want to live? What's the point? What inspires you? If you're trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion. It's fine to work hard and be successful, but it's more important to create something that has meaning and lasting impact. You want to have a future where you're expecting things to be better, not one where you're expecting things to be worse. I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. Work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. Great companies are built on great products. I think you should always bear in mind that entropy is not on your side. Don't delude yourself into thinking something's working when it's not, or you're going to get fixated on a bad solution. Life is too short for long-term grudges. You have to say, well, why did it succeed where others did not? If you're co-founder or CEO, you have to do all kinds of tasks you might not want to do. If you don't do your chores, the company won't succeed. You get paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of problems you solve. Talent is extremely important. It's like a sports team. The team that has the best individual player will often win, but then there's a multiplier from how those players work together. I don't create companies for the sake of creating companies, but to get things done. If you're a co-founder or CEO, you have to do all kinds of tasks you might not want to do. If you don't, the company won't succeed. There's a tremendous bias against taking risks. Everyone is trying to optimize their ass covering. You shouldn't do things differently just because they're different. They need to be better. I would like to die on Mars, just not on impact. I'm interested in things that change the world, or that affect the future, and wondrous new technology where you see it and you're like, wow, how did that even happen? How is that possible? I think life on Earth must be about more than just solving problems. It's got to be something inspiring, even if it is vicarious. I think we have a duty to maintain the light of consciousness, to make sure it continues into the future. Take risks now. Do something bold. You won't regret it. If something is important enough, even if the odds are against you, you should still do it. I don't think it's a good idea to plan to sell a company. No, I don't ever give up. I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated. The best way to predict the future is to create it.